Hi everyone, it's Dan here from Tender VLE, and in this video we are looking at policies and procedures. Now, no matter how tiring, mundane and futile you think developing your set of policies may be, these are actually the most basic content pieces you must possess in order to even be considered by the buyer in many tender related circumstances. If you've tendered before, you'll have undoubtedly been asked for a health and safety policy, or an equality and diversity policy, or an environmental policy, to name a few. Now, this is something that is usually required as an attachment and can't really be put together when a tender just crops up. Now, we always advise our clients to make sure they have all policies and procedural documentation developed well before responding to tenders, as this is crucial into being what we call tender ready. So for example, the construction industry's version of a typical PQQ is called a PAS 91, or Publicly Available Specification 91, and is derived from similar circumstances surrounding the European Single Procurement Document, or ESPD, which focuses on minimising the time it takes for companies to complete standardised pre-qualification questionnaires, or PQQ. Now, you can see a link below for our ESPD video, along with the basics of a PQQ video too. Now, the PAS 91 requires construction companies to have a range of policies in place and for them to predominantly be attached and evaluated as part of the submission. Now, if companies were not to attach their policies, or the policies were of a poor standard, then they have let themselves down at the first hurdle. Now, the same situations can apply across all industries, and it is completely up to the buyer if they want to see your policies straight away, or they can wait until contract award or at a later date. What you must not do is copy and paste some old policy you've found online. The majority of policies remain quite general, and you want to make sure that you take the time to develop this, not only for work that you bid for, but to get your house in order. Just think, would you rather spend more time on your bid responses and winning the work, or developing a quality policy from thin air? Now, this can be one less headache when it comes to the tender process. Remember that having policies that remain fully developed and detailed also helps you and your organisation guide the actions of all employees in a particular service. If it's only yourself, as either a freelancer or consultant, surely you'd still want to demonstrate your way of working in a clear, practical way that is stipulated by national best practice and vigorous legislation. Now, as per the new selection questionnaire procedures, you can self-certify to obtaining these. However, if the buyer asks for this, this must be provided at the drop of a hat, anytime throughout the procurement process or thereafter. If you haven't got a specific policy and claim that you do, be prepared to create this pretty fast, as you'll not know when the buyer may ask for it. It could be the day after submission. Now, some of the most sought after policies when it comes to tendering are as follows. Health and safety. Now, it is a legal requirement to have this if you maintain 5 or more employees. We've also got equality, diversity and inclusion, environmental and sustainability policies, quality or quality assurance policies, corporate social responsibility or social value policies, and customer service or customer complaints policies. Now, these aren't necessary for every sector, and we've provided a breakdown of more sector-specific policies in our blog that accompanies this video on our Tender VLE website. When developing your policies, remember to provide as much detail about your procedures. The procedures are what your policies are built upon. These are the foundations of how you or your organisation operate. You'll not be able to have a one-sentence policy that states you comply with national law and best practice. You'll need to clearly show the procedures in which your company operates against to ensure the policy is adhered to. Some of the basic questions you need to answer when further developing your procedural content and overall policies include: what are the aims of your policy? Why is this policy important to you as an organisation? What benefits are there by maintaining this policy? How is this policy implemented? And do you have staff training around your policy? Now, these are a mere few questions you need to ask yourself in order to develop a fully established policy. Sometimes you may have standalone procedural documents, such as standardised method statements, written complaints procedures, and so on. Now, these should cover your step-by-step processes into ensuring effective implementation, handling, and resolutions associated with your policy. This will go a long way when it comes to tender evaluation. Here at our parent company, Hudson Procurement Group, we operate a full internal creative team who not only shoots our video content, but is the driving force behind the design and branding of our client services, ensuring fully engaging corporate literature is always developed, showing consistency and exceptional knowledge about their industry and offering. You can get in touch with our tender consultants direct to see how far we can develop your existing policies and procedures, and endeavour to make this stand out amongst your competitors. We also offer a unique opportunity tracking service split across 10 industry-specific platforms where you receive daily updates on both private and public tender and business lead opportunities every single day. Now, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.